On sports fans, welcome back to another post-game analysis. I'm your host Shomar.
I'm Rush.
And this is the Staths Sports TV, the place you guys come to get the best, most interesting and everything sports topics, discussions and debates on the internet.
Yes, Steve, but before we get into today's post-game analysis, don't forget to like this one. Leave a comment under the video and subscribe to the Staths Sports TV. One more thing though.
Share the video to at least 10 people, but ensure to get to 6 subscribers. Because if each and every one of you guys can do that, you know how many subscribers that will get us by the end of the day?
Yes, people. So we're here to round up and break down the Champions Cup semi-final between Jamaica College and St. Andrew Technical. Jamaica College prevailed on the day. We're here to talk about it. Before we break down the game though, please give us a recap.
So the game kicked off, early start as usual. We identified that Jamaica College started a weaker team. Eventually we'll get into why that was the case. The game started off and St. Andrew Technical were really applying the pressure. They were constantly bringing the pressure to Staths, Satchel, Salmon, Reed. Those guys were wreaking havoc to the Jamaica College's defense. In about the 8th minute, we saw Omar Reed make a beautiful run and took a shot, forcing an amazing save out of Rasika Rose. The game continued. And though Jamaica College got their footing more and more, it was still St. Andrew Technical High School that was dominating the game. And about the 23rd minute, we saw Satchel, the man that is known for producing moments of magic, take another shot, forcing another good save out of Rasika Rose, who would go on to eventually be the man of the match. And then just a few minutes after that, we saw a quick break that was initiated by Xavier Davidson, the captain, and it resulted in a goal by Jamaica College against the runner play. After that goal was scored, we saw where Jamaica College began to express more confidence. They got a better foothold in the game, and the game wasn't as dominated by St. Andrew Technical again. But as the half came closer and closer to an end, we saw St. Andrew Technical regain their confidence and started to play more football and started to look like the better team. And that would take us into the halftime break, and it was Jamaica College 1, St. Andrew Technical 0. Against the run-off play, I might add. The second half started, and St. Andrew Technical started with more of the same. They were showing that they were the better team. They were showing that they could dominate this Jamaica College team. Seeing that they were weakened, and in about the 60th minute, we saw Ferguson identify that his team was under pressure and that a goal was coming. So he brought on some substitutions, including the likes of McConaughey, Tariq Zimenez, Wilson, etc., etc. St. Andrew Technical, though, still maintained quality. They still continue to play good, and there was a play that built up from in the midfield where Sakon Satchel played a beautiful pass into Salmon, the St. Andrew Technical High School's number 12, who took it graciously and turned amazingly and converted it into the far post, leaving Rasika Rose with no chance. Rasika Rose was forced to make a lot of saves throughout the game, and in the latter part, with Jamaica College's big guns introduced to the game now, that's where we saw Jaheim Williams come under a lot of pressure. He was forced to make a lot of good saves, having a man of the match type performance himself. Unfortunately, he was playing through a stomach illness and as such had to come off in the late embers of the game. This game played to a stalemate, both teams having very good chances, both teams goalkeepers providing big saves in very timely opportunities, and both teams managing to score a single goal, ultimately resulting in a penalty shootout. And then this penalty shootout ensued, and both teams, I think, were very clinical in that shootout. Unfortunately, Alex Xavier Gooden, the second kicker for St. Andrew Technical, came up and he hammered the ball in the bottom of the upright, just bouncing out, and unfortunately that would have been the deciding factor. Penalty shootout win for Jamaica College, 5-4.
Here we go. This was a very entertaining game. What we saw today was a rotated team against a stronger St. Andrew Technical High School team. We came into this game and we were expecting Jamaica College to take this game, I'd say, a bit more serious, starting some more of their stronger players, because, the Money Cup final it's a good way away. So rotation, yes, it's a thing, but we expected to see a stronger team.
Yep.
That might have affected, the way JC played in the game. That JC, they like to keep the ball, they have a really good midfield, and they have attacking players that can hurt you on any given day. Those players are on the bench, and that might be why we saw St. Andrew Technical at the better first half. Now, speaking of that first half, I feel like them missing those chances may have hurt them in the long run, because they got some good chances. I feel like in the first half, more so, they were the better team than Jamaica College. And Sackle got some chances, and I feel like they should have capitalized on those, but they didn't, and allowed Jamaica College to get one against the run of play. I don't know what I would say to the St. Andrew technical team and about them being, more clinical in games like these. But you have to take your chance against the Jamaica College team.
Yeah, and they did get some one-on-one chances. We saw Rasika Rose had to come out and make himself big in one of those instances where St. Andrew Technical should have definitely converted. Though that opportunity that I referred to may or may not have been offside, the fact still remain. They did not convert it, and as such, that made the offside or not offside inconsequential. St. Andrew Technical, had they been more clinical, they definitely would have been able to score more goals earlier. However, after the substitutions of the big guns, bringing them onto the field, we really saw the pendulum swing. We saw JC express their quality. We saw JC play football up to the Jamaica College standard, and they really did apply the pressure, man. But because of some beautiful defending by Xavier Gooden, who was absolutely perfect up to the very, very last kick of his game, he was absolutely amazing. He did not put a step wrong. Because of his performance and good goalkeeping, it allowed the game to end in a 1-1 draw.
What I enjoyed about this game and something that I picked up is that this was sort of a midfield game. Both teams having really good defenses. So whenever the ball got to the attacking field, we saw some standout defending from the likes of Blake and Davidson and Gooden. We saw good defending, but I feel like this game was really, both teams cancel each other out in the midfield. And they both have creative midfielders in there. We talk about Omari, and then we talk about Dylan John starting, and then Kevin Wilson coming on. And Staths got the better of the chances because of their midfield, because they started with Reed and Satchwell, up there, and those were the guys creating most of the chances for St. Andrew Technical High School. So I enjoyed that this was a midfield battle and a real tactical battle in the middle of the park.
Yeah, as I said, Jamaica College, Davian Ferguson especially, showing that he's not just a star coach. He's showing that he can coach his team very well. He's showing that he can compete with the best of the best, regardless of who he has on the field. And I think that's what he demonstrated today. For a whole hour of football, he was without his 5 best players. And he still managed to put up a formidable performance. He still managed to prevent St. Andrew Technical from scoring within that period of time. And that definitely showed his tactical brilliance. Philip Williams also showed his tactical brilliance, managing to get the team to play exactly how you wanted them to play, managing to create opportunities against a Jamaica College team. Obviously, on the pitch, they have to be clinical, they have to finish their chances, and I think that might have been the muse for St. Andrew Technical High School today. But all in all, as you said, midfield battle, a technical and tactical battle.
Yeah, and this was a really good game from St. Andrew Technical High School. In this part of the competition, we don't see them playing down. Yeah. Like, we don't see them, playing below their standard.
Yeah, they don't.
But I feel like Jamaica College could have had a better game. Obviously the rotation affected that. But I feel like, Davian Ferguson, he's seen better days for his team. Hopefully they can play better in the finals, the Manico final coming up and the Champions Cup finals coming up. Yeah. But I feel like Jamaica College, they escaped with one today because St. Andrew Technical could have won this game. They really could have. Obviously towards the latter part of the game, Jamaica College took over as you said, but St. Andrew Technical, I feel like they will rue those chances that they missed in the first half. Let's speak about some players that you feel like stood out in this game.
First and foremost, being a goalkeeper person, I'd like to mention from St. Andrew Technical, let's start with Staths first. And I'd like to speak about Jaheim Williams. Once again, pulling out all the stops, making all the saves. What is it with this kid?
Yeah, you know what I like about Jaheim? He's a small figure, but he makes up for it in his agility, in his ability to shot stop. He's a really good shot stopper, one of the best in the Manic Cup, even though he's small. He can really make a save. That's one thing about that boy. The thing is, he doesn't kick the ball very well, he doesn't pass the ball very well, and Staths doesn't use him. They don't use him to play that way. So Staths don't start from their goalkeeper, but rather they start from Gooden. So he takes all the deep free kicks, he takes the goal kicks. And if they can get the ball to him quick, they do that and start fast. No, I think if Williams could have played, a little bit better on his feet, that could have offered, Staths something more.
It would have added a whole new dynamic to technical, because towards the late embers of the game, Xavier Gooden was spent.
Yeah.
And who knows, that could have attributed to him not converting on his penalty kick. And the reason why he was so spent was because he had to be kicking every single one of the goal kicks. Mm-hmm. Trust me, that takes a toll on the defender, and it is important for young goalkeepers to be able to do that. Yeah. But the fact that this kid can fly is really so important.
Yeah, he's a really good goalkeeper. He's a really good shot stopper, man. Obviously, he needs to develop some other parts of his game, but outstanding game from him. Another player I want to talk about, and we mentioned him a while ago, Xavier Gooden. We spoke to the coach last week, and he said that he's the glue that binds the team together. And you can really see it out there. He's not necessarily a loud player. He's kind of soft-spoken. He's weird, but you hear him when he's speaking.
Yeah, because when I first heard his voice, it was much higher than I thought it would have been. Because we don't hear his voice that much.
There we go. And he's a player that he's commanding. He's aggressive, but at the same time he's composed.
Very smart too.
And very smart. You know, we saw, you know, at points in the game where, you know, Jamaica College had the ball close to the touchline, and instead of running in and making a tackle, you know, what he did was he went around the player and pulled the ball away. You know, that's smart, that's awareness, and that's something that I like to see in defenders. Obviously, it's good to be able to know when to clear the ball, but it's also good to know when you can keep that ball, take an extra touch and play a ball over the top. So I like that from Alex Xavier Gooden.
Which Gooden also has the ability. You know, he also has the wherewithal and the knowledge to know when to kick that ball all the way up into the stadium lights, as the people would say. You know, he has that ability to make the right decisions, the right times. And he was absolutely flawless today in every possible way. It's just unfortunate that with his very last kick of his very last game in the Champions Cup, it resulted in a miss.
Yeah, unfortunate. Who's another player from the Staths team that you want to mention?
Shaquan Satchel. Yeah, he was up to the 60th minute, you know, a candidate for man of the match. Yeah. He got an assist on the first goal, and he was all around just amazing. He was working all around the park, from left to the number 9, to the right, to the central. He did absolutely everything, and he is the usual Shaquan Satchel that we have grown accustomed to. An amazing player, all around outstanding, and he gets another good performance.
Here we go. Let's talk about the JC players for a second. You know, Rasika Rose.
Yeah.
He was outstanding in the shot stopping department, but I feel like he could have offered his team a bit more, you know, being a little bit more present in the game, and also with his kicking, it was kind of off today. You know, he was a hit and miss. Sometimes he would pass a great ball, and then another time he would give the ball away, causing his team to face a shot. You know, but he ultimately won the man of the match, and that is because of the first thing that I mentioned, his ability to stop shots. You know, that boy can also fly, he can also make a save. He's a big presence in the goal, and unfortunately I feel like, you know, with a little bit more mental coaching, I'd say, you know, he needs to be locked in a little bit more. He needs to, you know, to focus on what he's doing before he does it, because I think when he's passing the ball, I think he thinks that he makes the pass before he actually puts his foot on the ball. And that's what causes him to misplace some of his passes. But nevertheless, an outstanding game in terms of goalkeeping, you know, in terms of stopping shots. And I feel like as a goalkeeper, that is exactly what you're there for, to stop that ball from going into your net.
One thing though as a goalkeeper that I must add before speaking about the positives, the negatives, you have to be decisive. You have to be a leader. And I think Rasika Rose might be slightly lacking in that area. But what he lacks in that area, he makes up back for in his ability to pass that ball. So we speak about him making some wayward passes today, which is absolutely 100% correct. He made a few bad passes that was absolutely woeful. But I think the reason he made these passes was because of his extreme ability to pass that ball. He's so confident and he's so composed. Sometimes it leads to complacency, and I think that's where he went wrong today. But every single time he made a mistake and it costed his team, it allowed Staths to get an opportunity, he pulled out an amazing save. He pulled out all the stops today, and because of that, he kept Jamaica College in the game until their star players came on, you know, and that's why Rasika Rose was the man of the match today. Yeah, and one of the best goalkeepers in the Manning Cup.
For sure. Another player that you want to mention for JC?
Blake, their central defender. You know, he is such a class player. He's a super talent. He makes all the passes. He makes all the tackle. He's just aggressive enough to instill fear into his opposition, but not aggressive enough to get a red card every single game. He's a class player, a player for the ages as it relates to Manning Cup.
There we go. Yes, another player that we can mention is Taim Shaw. You know, a player that goes under the radar a lot of time for the Jamaica College team. Doesn't start a lot of the games, but he came in today as one of those rotated players for Saviola Blake, who's their regular starter in that CDM position. But he was solid to them, and I feel like he was passing the ball when he was breaking up some of the plays from St. Andrew Technical whenever he could. And I feel like he was one of the better Jamaica College players on the day. I feel like he was up until, you know, the end part of the game. I feel like he was pushing Rasika Rose for that man of the match, that man of the match award. But Rasika Rose was just outstanding and obviously stopping shots all throughout the game, so it was overwhelming. But that player Shaw needs a mention in this analysis.
Yeah, as it relates to Shaw, you know, a player that he definitely reminded me of today was Thomas Partey. You know, that's the kind of role that he played. He sat deep, he intercepted and he broke up everything. He was a physical presence, being a big guy, and he made all the right passes and he made all the right decisions. You know, as you said, Rasika Rose, absolutely amazing, kept Jamaica College in the game. But Shaw, for somebody who is not necessarily one of these star players, you know, not the usual Saviola Blake, he definitely made a formidable performance. He's going to give Mr. Ferguson a headache to pick that CDM in the next game.
There we go. Some really good games to look forward to. JC through to the finals of the Champion Cup. It's a really good game. As we said earlier, tactical game from both coaches. So we have to shout out Davian Ferguson. We have to shout out Philip Williams. And we have to shout out the Staths team and the Staths program, what they've been able to do over the years. And they deserve some silverware, as I said, in some build-up towards these games. But let's see if they can do it in the Manning Cup. What were you going to say?
Though they might deserve, they might not get.
You don't always get what you deserve.
And that's just how life goes. So, the Manning Cup, the Champions Cup is coming to an end, the Manning Cup is coming to an end, and something that St. Andrew Technical can harp their hats on is that when it's all said and done, their names were called, and very many times too.
Here we go. People, if you like this video, don't forget to comment and subscribe to This or That Sports TV. One more thing though.
Share the video to at least 10 people, but ensure to get us at least 6 subscribers. Because if you guys can do that, you know how many subscribers that will get us by the end of the day, people?
There you go. For now, this was This or That Sports TV.
Reporting from the National Stadium. And we're out.
Yes, sir.